My name is Benton Stokes. I'm a former fundamentalist, post-evangelical worship leader, and songwriter. I enjoy wry Manhattans, roller coasters, and road trips, just not all at the same time.
I'm Elane O'Rourke, and I'm a teacher, an author, and a spiritual coach. I was a philosophy professor and a liberal pastor in a couple of former lives, and these days, I love aha moments and not-so-dry martinis.
We have conversations about life and God with a queer perspective, over cocktails, like you. This is Cocktail Theology.
So we are drinking a classic holiday/winter drink that came from England originally, and once you taste it, you'll know why, and then sort of settled in New England and other coldish places.
Oh, it smells so good.
That's fresh nutmeg.
Mm. Oh, yeah, that'll warm your innards.
Yep. That, my friend, is called a Tom and Jerry. And it's a sort of a relative eggnog. I mean, it has eggs in it and such, but it's not like that at all.
No, it's not nearly the rich kind of viscous that people don't like about eggnog.
Yeah. So it has a little bit of viscosity from the what's called a batter that you make for it.
Okay.
But what I love about it, besides the fresh nutmeg, which is just such a nice thing, is it's a mix of cognac and dark rum. And in our case, it's the El Dorado from the rum episode.
Ah, nice.
So it's just very, very, very tasty.
Delicious. Yeah.
And when I was a little kid, my mom went through a period of Tom and Jerry's being the thing. Now, they were never this good. Okay, we had no money, so God only knows what was in them, right?
Right.
But as a result, I grew up with them as a thought in Los Angeles in those freezing cold winters.
Not New England.
Not New England. But really nice, huh?
Oh, it's really tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really nice.
So this is our nod to Christmas holidays as we sup, not sup, as we imbibe.
As we imbibe.
And as we sup later, it's going to look nothing like Christmas.
No.
So just, there you go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
So I have a few interesting factoids that I just wanted to share with the people.
This is for the end of the year.
Yeah, this is our last episode of season 6. We'll be taking a little break. We'll be back in the spring as we typically are with season 7. But so far, we've recorded 184 episodes.
And that's not including those 2 or 3 years we were on Facebook Live every week. Okay,
no,
this is
we were
just the...
Yeah,
okay.
I think we were kind of learning, how to do this on Facebook Live with people regularly back before 2018. And then also during the height of the lockdown, we took a pause from the podcast and we were doing daily Facebook Lives.
Right, for our folks.
Yeah, so 6 seasons, 10,634 downloads, you guys.
Wow.
That's kind of awesome. On YouTube, which is where I think most of our listeners are finding us right now, you might be an evangelical if part 3. We did 3 parts. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
From last season has 692 views. So that's our most watched/listened to episode on YouTube. And since we've done 184 episodes, we've done 180 cocktails and 4 mocktails.
Wow.
We have not repeated. I don't think we've repeated once.
Wow. That's kind of something.
Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. Why isn't there a Stokes guide? We have missed the marketing opportunity here.
There's still time.
Yes, there is. There is. We did write a cocktail book. That was
did.
That was rather nice and pretty.
That was
and we
fun.
gave it away for people who donated to us, which was awesome since we're a nonprofit.
Yeah, maybe we should revisit that.
Yeah, we should.
But it's got some great cocktails in it too.
Yeah, it does.
So some fun facts. Yeah, we're listened to in 13 countries. This year we were up 700% over last year on Spotify. So,
wow. Okay.
And we are just incredibly grateful to you guys for listening.
Yes.
Many of you listen very devotedly. I think we have 10 super fans that we are like their number one cocktail. I can't even talk. 10 super fans.
I just handed that to you.
I know. And we're their number one podcast.
Which is awesome.
Which is really great. So we appreciate you guys very much.
And we really appreciate when you share us with other people who discover us. I have some people I work with in my day job who listen. They're not super fans, but they listen regularly, and I know they've gotten a lot out of it. And it's just because I happen to mention that I do this podcast, that they
Right.
started listening. So that's great. And I really appreciate all of our listeners who comment and like and all of those things. So thank you to those of you who have shared us with others. It matters a lot. Thank
It does.
you.
It does. Thank you.
So what are we talking about tonight besides our wonderful listeners?
Well, this is our last episode of the season, and we're recording this right before Christmas. So I thought we might just sort of reflect on our feelings about Christmas. Christmas is a complicated time for lots of us. As you go through various seasons of life, it can be complicated, and then it can become simple, and then it can become complicated again. Right
wrong,
now, I'm in a season where, my kids are all grown and they're partnered. So getting everybody together every year is like one of those mind-bending puzzle games. It requires a lot of commitment from all of us to make sure that we're spending time together over the holidays. As my kids have gotten older, we've kind of toned down the gift giving. We drew names this year. So shopping's become a lot easier for Dad, which is great. But it also, somehow it's interesting, when it went away, sort of made that part of Christmas a little smaller for me somehow.
Smaller, not in a good way.
Well, different way. I think it was just... part of the buildup is all the shopping and then all the excitement of sharing all the gifts with everybody. And with that part kind of gone now, it makes the focus something else.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. But it definitely has made it, I think when I say smaller, I think just more focused maybe. But I'm very excited about it. I've sort of made a habit of going home on Christmas Day, and for any of you that fly on Christmas Day, that's a unique experience. I kind of get a kick out of it as long as there are flights and they're on time.
Which actually, going back there, you've done pretty well on. It's been coming home that has been where it's been troubling. That's been the direction it's been hard.
Yeah. So I'm excited to go home again this year. But it's also great to spend Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve here, and I look forward to that every year too. So it's just interesting the way that we sort of, some traditions go away and new traditions come along, and it's kind of awesome, I think, to be at this point in my life and to enjoy so much about the holidays. And I know that's not the case for everybody, so I count that as a huge blessing.
I spent a lot of years, yeah. I was thinking about, after I said a lot of years, trying to decide whether it was a lot of years or if it just felt like it. But no, it was a lot of years. I spent a lot of years having a real hate-love, in that order, relationship with Christmas. Some of it was the absolute guilt over getting presents. Like, I just did not want to receive presents.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of guilt about receiving stuff like that. And then my mom and I, and that was just us, we're estranged for a long time. And so that added drama. And even if I go back, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then, as I have famously mentioned on another episode of this podcast, one of the times I went home to her home to see my mom and came back to my home, my then partner was cheating on me with somebody else. So that was exciting. And I was out of the church for a long time, which meant that since I wasn't connected with family and I wasn't connected with church, it was kind of like Christmas was just a painful day. Right? It was just painful. So I have a lot of sympathy for that. And then many years of good Christmases, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Part of which came about because I got back involved with a church where I was singing and busy. Like, it was busy because of that stuff, which was great.
Yeah.
And then after I went to seminary and was leading churches, it's such a packed time.
Oh my gosh.
That also was wonderful. So rediscovering my own attachment to the birth of Jesus and the coming of Christ, that made a huge difference for me.
Sure.
Is it okay if I tell a story?
Please.
Okay. So almost 18 years ago now, actually, what's today? Okay. So it would have been yesterday, 18 years ago. My then husband and I were trying to adopt, and I was starting to get pretty hopeless about it, which is just, that's my direction. I go hopeless. So it's me. But we got this call about a baby who was supposed to be born on January 6th, which is Epiphany, which made it kind of funny. The combination was that the birth mother was about to be evicted from the apartment she was sharing with somebody, but not the baby's father.
Okay.
She had to leave. She wanted to come to Los Angeles, and then she wanted to go to Las Vegas. She was literally getting evicted, had no place to go. The baby was due to be born on Epiphany. And we were like, okay, so clearly we have to meet this woman, adopt this baby. So we fly her out. And I mean, she's, more than 9 months pregnant. I don't know why they let her onto the plane.
Yeah.
We fly her out. We get her set up. We go through Christmas Eve. We have between us, because we were serving 2 different churches, we have a total of 5 services. I mean, it's insane. Yeah. We get to Christmas Day. We take her food. We're doing all this kind of stuff. We get through Christmas Day. It's all great. Day after Christmas, the 26th, we go to Babies R Us to buy stuff because we had no stuff. We had just found out about it, flew this woman out. It was 11, 12 days later. Child was supposed to be born in, 10 days or whatever it was. And we are literally at Babies R Us when we get the call from the birth mother saying that she's in labor.
Wow.
So we fly down the freeway.
Yeah.
Long story, even longer. My daughter is born on the 26th.
Yeah.
So for me, Christmas has a lot to do, and particularly with that resonance of a pregnant woman looking for a place to stay, baby needing shelter, all those kind of things. Christmas now will never stop having that story attached to it for me.
Love that. Yeah.
Right? All of that to say, Christmas for me, as much as I have loved spending it with family, with my daughter, with you, and all of that stuff, Christmas for me is about the Christmas story.
Yeah.
It just is. And I love the tree, and I love the lights. I love all that kind of stuff. I love Advent and the waiting and the anticipation. But for me, it's about that crazy story that I believe more now than I ever have.
I really love that.
Anyway, so what else? About Christmas? So let's go to the Christmas story.
Yeah.
Are you a Matthew, Luke, or John Christmas story person?
I guess I'm Luke.
Okay.
John is mystical and a little hard to understand, but it has been interesting to me and educational the way that we tie John 1 back to the Genesis story, and that helps connect a lot of dots for me. So I do like the John story, but Luke is sort of where all of the really familiar verses are, and the familiar telling of the story is.
Okay, so are you a shepherds person, a no room at the inn person, a cattle lowing, which doesn't happen in the Bible, but it happens in songs which are connected to? What's the part that makes you go, this is the Christmassy bit?
I do love that the shepherds were the ones that were pointed to the state, the angels were like, "Hey, look over here," and they're like, "What?" I mean, we have these sheep, and it's just I love because it reminds me that the truth of Christmas and the truth of Jesus, it has no boundaries as far as socioeconomic status,
right,
race or gender or age or anything. Everyone is welcome at the table, even smelly shepherds, and presumably their sheep. So I love that part of it, that they are such an important part of this story, and they are witnessing something so huge, and they're just really simple shepherds.
Yeah. The story, particularly as written in Luke, is so much about common people.
Yeah.
Just common people. Not poor. We tend to want to make Mary poor, but there's no reason to believe that Mary was poor. But common, right? Yeah. In the sense of not exalted, not a king, not of those things. And the angels go, and they tell shepherds, right? They don't go to the merchants. They don't go to the priests. They don't go to any. They go out to the common people in the field and say, there's this amazing thing happening that you and your ancestors have been waiting for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Yeah. I always imagine the shepherds looking at each other and going, it's not just me, right?
You heard that, right?
You heard that, right? But they go.
Yeah.
They just go because they've been waiting for this for so long, and they collectively experience this moment of absolute holiness and fulfillment of waiting. I love that part.
I do too.
I agree. I admit I'm kind of a big angel and shepherds person.
Yeah.
There's something about, and this is not in the scripture, but there's something about that whole baby not crying, Mary looking perfect, all of that thing, that has just never worked for me. It's never worked for me.
No.
And I think because it makes it so much less real, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, why do we need to make Mary so unreal?
Yeah.
Why do we need to make Jesus like no other baby ever? Right.
Right.
So I hear that. I do like also, honestly, the parts in Matthew where Matthew works really hard to make the story of the Hebrew scriptures and the story of what the one he's telling try to make sense together.
Yeah, I like that too.
It's not moving in the same way, but it's such a helpful connector. Mm-hmm. But as everyone who knows me knows, I'm really a fan of John 1. I'm just a huge fan, because for me, that is the one that connects the cosmos, the one that says, this is about God coming here, not cool, important baby, but God coming here. And that just is just for me, every time I think about it, it's just like, like my heart just, maybe I'm not that attached to babies, but my heart just explodes over the idea that God, who is so big and so powerful and so not needing to be in a human body, says, hey, human bodies might be meaningful to humans. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
It's pretty awesome.
All right, so what else about Christmas?
I didn't grow up going to church on Christmas Eve.
I have nothing to say to your parents anymore, ever.
That's something. Well, my church didn't really do a Christmas Eve service.
Well, there you go.
Well, you know, but that's something that I've really come to look forward to is going to church on Christmas Eve. We've led Christmas Eve services before,
which is my very favorite service to lead. Is that late night service? God, I love doing that.
It's so lovely.
I miss that. That's one of the few things about pastoring a church that I really miss.
Yeah. Yeah, so I really enjoy that. I look forward to that every year. And Advent has really come to mean a lot to me. The season leading up to Christmas and how we spend each of those 4 Sundays reflecting on the lectionary and guiding our folks through the anticipation and the longing, and it bears a few similarities to Lent in that way.
Yes, it does.
You know, the work that you and I do, it kind of takes on a more liturgical tone during the season, and I like that. It just sort of, I don't know, it gives me some perspective in the middle of all of the crazy secular aspects to Christmas that I have less and less tolerance for as I get older. So it's a real kind of perspective giver to me, the combination of Advent and the Christmas Eve service. I love that. And I also really appreciate that we sort of start celebrating Christmas on Christmas and let it go to Epiphany while people are taking down their Christmas trees on Christmas Day, which never made sense to me. We're still partying.
That's right.
You know, that's like when the party starts. The 12 Days of Christmas didn't start on whatever, it starts on December 25th, y'all.
That's right.
So that part's fun too, to kind of take that time and just really relax and enjoy and rest and eat and drink and do all the things and see people and laugh. And, you know, I mean, that's just part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really grateful to you that you come back from Tennessee before New Year's, because it means then that we get some Christmas, like what I count as Christmas together, which is great, which I really, really appreciate.
I love that.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Advent girl. Although this year, because things have been just so depressing and dark and difficult, when the lights went on, so generally just here's our kind of routine is, people have heard that I'm sort of a stickler about when things happen at Christmas. But the first thing that happens for us is we put out the outside lights. And this year, I think because things have been so hard, it was really wonderful for me when they lighted up. It was like, Right. The light shines in the darkness and the darkness cannot overcome it. Like,
Yeah.
and it's only been a week, less than a week. But every time the lights go on, I'm really excited. I'm like, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got the tree up, and I admit I rushed the decorations a little bit this year. I put them up a little bit before the third Sunday of Advent, and I'm sorry, but I needed to do it again. But for me, the gradual aspect of it is really helpful because each thing then is a thing.
Yeah, it takes on a different significance.
Yes. You put the lights on the tree, which was great, and we put the lights up outside, which was great. And they sat there for a while, and then the ornaments went on. And this year it's a very restrained set of ornaments. And then after that, we did the living room, and it's just been this nice gradual advent of Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Which I very much appreciate.
Yeah.
It's not so overwhelming and exhausting that way either.
It's true.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah.
All right, so what else? So you've had some things with your kids that have meant a lot over the years, and part of it this year I know, and since they've been more grown up, has been just getting together.
Yeah.
But you all have at least one tradition that I know of.
Well, when they were younger, we would drive by and look at, garish Christmas displays. That was one of our things. And that's always fun.
Yeah, it's not that much younger. All did that not that long ago.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, when they were teenagers. And honestly, like, part of it that was meaningful to me, and I may have shared this story on the podcast before, but when I was in college, there was a restaurant that we used to hang out at called Dalt's, me and my friends. And it was like a diner. And one Christmas, we were there during a Christmas season. We would go there often on Sunday nights. And for those of you who know who Amy Grant is, she and her then husband, Gary Chapman, they come up in a pickup truck with a tree tied to the top of it. And they come in and they sit down to have dinner. And me and my friends there were all very enamored of Amy. Like, Amy was it. We didn't bother them. We didn't, but it was just like, Amy's here. And ever since then, I've sort of connected Dalt's to Christmas. There's nobody else would ever connect Dalt's to Christmas, but I do. And so when I was kind of creating new traditions for my kids and me, after their mom and I split up, that was one of the things I wanted to do, was take them to Dalt's at Christmas and then go look at garish Christmas lights. And that started to become our thing. And even last year, my daughter was going out with her husband. She said, we're at Dalt's right now having dinner, and we want to know where those Christmas lights were that we went to on that one street. And I knew exactly which one she was talking about. And so I was able to give them directions. Like I sent them the GPS, the coordinates so that they could get there from Dalt's. It's hilarious. But that's been a thing for us. And now that they're all grown and have other, they have lots and lots of commitments during the holidays, I try to take them out to dinner. This year I'm taking them each pair of them out to dinner separately. And that's going to be really nice to have that time, just us hanging out and having a meal. It really is about these traditions that sort of come in and out. And I know that my kids, as they have kids, they're probably going to remember some of those things and want to do those things with their kids.
See, and I really, really appreciate that. And I'm also very envious of that. I'm reflecting as you're speaking about what happens after a divorce or a separation, whether you've got kids or not. You're trying to figure out what the heck to do with the holidays.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you've had traditions with kids and you don't have the kids anymore, there's a lot of structure around Christmas that just disappears.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what do I do? I know that this year for me, the first year that we were separated, I was just brokenhearted over the kid not being with me.
Right.
It was just excruciating.
Yeah, I know.
And then last year, of course, she was with us. And then this year she's with her dad. And so this year I'm not as broken up about it, but I was kind of like, is it worth even doing anything at all? Does any of it actually matter to me?
Right.
And it's been hard to kind of drag myself into doing stuff. Now, I'm really glad I have.
Yeah.
And I've had to rethink it. But definitely the trappings of Christmas, if you will, that's been tough. And I'm sure that some of our listeners either have gone through this or are going through this where they're like, I don't even know what to do with myself at this point?
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about Christmas evening and just going, okay, so what am I going to do Christmas evening, And obviously I've survived Christmas evening in the past and I'm sure it'll be fine. But it is one of those, well, maybe, I'll just watch some TV show I've been binging anyway. Well, it's like, that doesn't feel right. So it is, even if it's not hard per se, it's tricky.
Yeah.
It's hard to figure out exactly what to do with yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that after Christmas morning, even if you're very involved with church or very involved with friends or whatever, Christmas morning at noon, everything drops dead.
Yeah.
Restaurants aren't open. Thank God for Chinese food. But it's hard. And especially if there's been this huge buildup and then it goes,
Yeah.
and then you go like, okay, now what should I be doing?
Right.
And I can imagine that's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah. I imagine it is too.
Even in the best possible situations.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm thinking about any of our listeners and folks beyond our listeners who aren't really sure what they're going to be doing with themselves and how hard that can be.
Yeah.
I really hope they hear from angels.
Yeah, me too.
And I think you have to be open to hearing from angels. I don't mean to be kind of gross about this, but there's something about that story of the shepherds just being out in their fields in the middle of the night, making sure they can fend off wolves, being aware that people will come and try and steal their sheep, being aware that they weren't welcome anywhere because they smelled and they were around animals, they were around dead things and all those things, that maybe made them more open to hearing the angels. Maybe, in fact, the angels were speaking to everybody.
Yeah.
But the shepherds were open to hearing it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe those of us who don't quite know what we're going to do with ourselves over Christmas can be more open to angels.
I love that.
It might mean going down and serving or baking lots and lots of bread and handing it out to homeless people to make sure they've got something in their bellies.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's kind of another way of watching for and listening for angels.
Absolutely.
Musing on that right now as we're talking.
Yeah.
What other thoughts do you have?
It's really mind-blowing to me how quickly this year has gone. and
So this is 2023, right?
Right?
Okay.
Yikes. So, I'm already kind of thinking about next year. And of course, as many of our listeners know, we aren't exactly pro New Year's resolutions, although it is good to have a little bit of a shift in the way that you're thinking, and some optimism helps.
Yes.
When you turn that calendar over to the next year. So I think I'm already sort of thinking a little bit about that.
Ooh.
With a grandchild coming in February,
that's
got me thinking about all kinds of things.
I bet it does.
It's just, this is a whole season of sort of gaining perspective and a lot of kind of waiting and anticipating, honestly. And that hasn't always been a comfortable place for me. I'm an Enneagram 6, and I'm always thinking about all the worst case scenarios. But I've gotten a lot less fearful.
Yeah, you have.
Of change and of inevitabilities, and so I'm anticipating good things, and across Christmas and into the next year. And I know that everything won't be perfect, but I'm counting on them being pretty great.
That is a great place to leave this, if you ask me. So, listeners, we always want to hear from you.
We do.
As we go into this little hiatus before our next season, please don't let it be a hiatus from us. We would love to hear from you. cocktailtheology.com, or go to our YouTube page, listen to us on YouTube, leave us comments. If you have ideas for topics for next year or cocktails, or if you just want to tell us how your holidays are going or what you're learning or where you're struggling, we would love to hear from you.
We sure would.
And thank you so much for joining us every week. We really appreciate it, and we do this because you're there.
That's right. Thanks, friends.
Bye.
Bye.
Funny how the view can change how
Life just seems to rearrange itself, no matter what it was. I don't know how it goes, but look, moving on feels pretty good. Moving on feels pretty good.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like and hit subscribe wherever you're listening right now. We welcome your comments, questions, and ideas for conversations and for cocktails. Please get in touch with us at our website, cocktailtheology.com. Cocktail Theology is a production of SFS. Our theme song is Moving On Feels Pretty Good, recorded by yours truly, Benton Stokes. You can find my music wherever you stream your favorite artists. Join us next Thursday for another new episode.